To win the chase, being perfect isn't good enough. This isn't a contest of one against one. It's heartbreak and madness times 1,000. To win here, you need luck and chaos on your side. Because being perfect only gives you a chance.
Welcome everybody to the final race of Season 2 here in the Juicebox Racing League. Tonight we are here at Nashville Superspeedway for the 12th race of the season. Taking the trucks to Nashville Superspeedway tonight. It'll be definitely very interesting for sure. As we have seen in all races so far this season, very basic weather, partly cloudy, 78 degrees. But most importantly tonight, we're coming here pretty much with a champion locked up, Logan Monteith, who has done an amazing job all season long. Comes in here tonight with a 9-point lead over second place Jason Hounshell, which all but locks him into winning the championship here tonight. Obviously, once he makes the start, I believe that will officially make him the Season 2 champion. So it should be a very interesting night here tonight. Final race of the season here at Nashville Superspeedway. Everyone is super excited, taking the trucks back for one final time here this season. And then obviously, as we head into the summer, we'll see what Juicebox Racing League chooses to do, if we run another season during the summer or if we'll take a short break to allow people to enjoy their summers. So as guys get warmed up here tonight, we'll go ahead and take a look at the qualifying session, and then we'll look to get this race underway here tonight. So as we take a look here at tonight's starting lineup here, Seth Harrelson gets the pole here in the Music City 115. One of the chase drivers. Not too great of a run here in the chase this year. We'll have to see how he does next year, but still gets the final pole of the season. Jake Hounshell, one of the guys who almost won last week, he starts right next to him on the front row. Logan Monteith, who pretty much has the championship locked up there in the 99 truck, he starts P3 alongside Andrew Rucker is back here tonight in P4. Fifth on back, you have Hank Steinmiller, Cooper Johnson in 5th and 6th. Tyler Barnett and Jason Hounshell in P7 and 8. Dave Carpenter and Andre Guerrera in P9 and 10. Bo Caro and Cody Harrington in P11 and 12. The last couple spots here. Robert Knopfsinger in the 1 starts P13. I believe this is his actual first start of the season. And then the two drivers who chose not to take a time here tonight, James Goshen and Nick Seraph in 14th and 15th. So we'll have to see how everybody does here tonight. Pace car will make the hard left-hand turn off of the track this time by, giving the control to Seth Harrelson in the 07. Be interesting to see what the strategies are for everybody here tonight. First time that we are here at Nashville Superspeedway in Juicebox Racing League history. We'll have to see how everybody is able to handle the trucks here on this interesting track as the green is out here at Nashville Superspeedway. As we complete lap 1, Jake Houndshow had himself a great start. Seemed like Seth kind of overdrove turns 1 and 2 a little bit off the start. But Jake takes advantage of it. He's got the inside line, and that'll be interesting to see if, you know, obviously the way this track is kind of designed, it's almost like you choose the bottom or you're going to be slow and you're going to kill your tires in the top. And as we're seeing, Seth is able to hang on a little bit here on the top side. As you see, you got the run off the corner there with Rucker right on the bumper of Jake Houndshow. Rucker's going to look to the inside. Maybe some possible 3-wide action for a moment there. And Andrew Rucker will try and clear Seth here. And will do so coming off of 4 to complete lap 3. As Rucker will lead this lap. Jake fell back just a little bit here. You got Hank Steinmiller right behind him. He's going to look to the inside of the O2. He'll get the run down the backstretch and try and clear him. As he does, clear him heading into 3. It'll be interesting to see how everyone's kind of having to save their tires and such, as we saw the 18 here get into the outside wall. That's Andre. See a lot of damage on that right side and the right front now, as he'll lose a spot to the 66 of Cody Harrington. But what'll be interesting to see is, you know, how these guys is, you know, you can kind of see Andrew's already kind of really spaced himself out to Seth there in second place. It'll be interesting to see how these guys can save their tires and be good towards the end of the runs. Because if we do go green the whole race, we don't have any cautions. Now, I don't know the likelihood of that, but if we do go green the whole way and we don't have any cautions, then they should have to pit twice here in this race. Because they will be just short on fuel. So, see how it goes as Hank's trying to close in on Seth Harrelson. That would be for P2. Behind him, or behind them, Jake and Logan. Getting a little bit closer together here. Logan, we talked about Logan at the beginning of the broadcast here. This 99 truck, a very good looking scheme. But in all honesty, he's just racing around here having fun because he knows that no matter what, he has locked up the championship. Season 1, it was John Whitendorf who won the championship, and now here in Season 2, with an amazing season from the 99, he will win the championship here once this race is concluded. A bit farther up here, Hank has closed in on Seth Harrelson. This will be for P2. A couple of chase drivers still racing side by side. Ooh. Seth definitely didn't want to give him a whole lot of room, but Hank still clears him off of 4 there and will drive away. And oh, looks like we have ourselves a caution out. May have involved the 85. And it looks like the 42. Let's go back and see what happened here. So we're following along the 523 here. This is Nick Seraph. Ooh, that looked like a little bit of net code. Oh, but he spins, gets James to spin right back up onto the track right in front of Bo Caro there. So now as the caution is out, limited set of tires here for these guys, so we'll see how many choose to come down. We didn't have too many green flag laps, but some of the guys behind him, looks like Jason Houndshow, come down for tires here. And the 18 of Andre, he'll come down and most likely repair that right side damage that he has on that truck. There's 85 of James Goshen. He'll come down and get some new tires and repair his damage here as well. So, as we get prepared here to go back green in a couple laps, we'll go ahead and take a short break here. We'll be back with some more green flag action. Welcome back, everybody, to Nashville Super Speedway for the final race of Season 2 here in the Juicebox Racing League. Andrew Rucker, our current leader, he chose the outside line on this restart, so we'll see what kind of a launch he gets up there as we're back green yet again at Nashville. He did get a pretty good launch, and he'll clear Hank Steinmiller in P2. We saw Andrew on that first run. He was kind of able to run away to start that run. We'll see if he's able to kind of have that same distance that he built on the first run here on this run. Behind them, some side-by-side battles. There's the 523 of Nick Serif and Robert Knopfsinger in the 1. Another side-by-side battle possibly brewing here between Tyler Barnett and Cooper Johnson. As Tyler goes to the inside of the 14 and will complete that pass. Back up front, already a pretty big gap between second and third, as the 6 of Andrew Rucker and the 63 of Hank Steinmiller have started to space out Seth Harrelson in that 07. May possibly be some tire saving strategy here. We'll see how it works out in the end of the run. Everyone's seemingly single file right now as Jake's starting to close in on the 07. Up ahead of him here, Hank Steinmiller closing back in on Andrew Rucker. So let's go on board with Hank here and see if we can watch him try to work around Andrew here. Right along there a little bit with Hank, and in the meantime, a couple of passes have been made. Seth Harrelson has dropped the spot to Jake Counshaw as he has driven away, but also you can see the 99 is on the inside of that 07 now, and he'll look to take that 4th spot away, and he will. As you can tell, that 07 definitely got that outside wall pretty hard there. A lot of damage on that right side. Most likely is what is causing him to lose a ton of spots here. Behind them, a little bit more side-by-side battles. Cody Harrington, that 66 truck, trying to close it on the 14. That would be for 6th place. Nice run for Cody here to start this run. Behind them, there's Tyler Barnett in the 13 there. He's running P8. Put a little distance between himself and David Carpenter in the 71. He's currently running P9. Behind them, still at 18, the 523. Not really spacing each other out too much there. Seems like the 523 might be running a little bit away from the 18 now. Back up ahead, though. Oh, the 66 hard in that outside wall. This will give the opportunity for Carpenter to look to the inside and make the pass for that spot, as we just saw the 66 actually lost the spot to Tyler Barnett. And now Tyler's trying to close in on the 14 again. A little farther up, the 99 has put a little bit of distance between himself and the 07. Back up front, that 63 is just following in the tracks of Andrew Rucker. Trying to get an opportunity to make a move for the lead here. And we'll see if he makes a dive bomb this time. This time again, he'll follow him into the corner. Couple of developments here. 42 is, after being involved in that first caution, has decided to take his truck behind the wall and call it a day. James Goshen is still on pit road as of right now, and Alex Guerrera there has also hit pit road. So as Hank still tries to close in on the leader, Tyler Barnett was able to make the pass at Cooper Johnson. That'll give him 6th in the running order at the moment. Now Tyler's starting to try and close in on Seth Harrelson here. Trying to close in on him for 5th. Let's actually go on board with Tyler here as he tries to make this move. Jake trying to close in on the leaders here. Hank was about 5/10 back from the leader a moment ago, but now starting to close that lead back up yet again. Seems like these top three guys are really starting to drive away from the rest of the field, as Logan is now 4 seconds back from the leader. But everyone getting pretty spaced out right now except for these two leaders. Tyler has been able to drive away from the 14 now, trying to close in on his Evil Empire teammate and Logan Monteith, our champion of this season in the 99. Behind him, everybody's still pretty spaced out. The 00 able to make a pass on the 1. It's the 523, there's the 85, and closest battle we have right now is our leaders of Andrew Rucker and Hank Steinmiller. It seems like Jake isn't losing a whole lot of time, but he's also not gaining a whole lot of time. He's kind of staying stagnant as far as time between him and the leader at the moment. But Logan is actually starting to catch up here to the leaders. He gained a couple of tenths the last couple laps. And yet again, Andrew Rucker starting to space himself out between him and Hank Steinmiller. Gotten out to about a 6/10 of a second lead. And Jake has actually, it seemed like, gained about a 10th and now 2/10 on our leader. Approaching 36 laps complete in this 115 lap race here at Nashville Superspeedway. Tyler Burnett trying to close in on Logan in that 99 truck. Great looking scheme by the 99 and the 13 here. Seems like Jake is really starting to close in on our leaders here. Let's actually take a look here at Jake, and let's take a ride with him really quickly here. Saw it there off of the cam of Jake Houndshow. 63 able to make the pass on Andrew Rucker. Kind of seemed like they were back and forth, and now finally the 63 able to make the pass on the 6 truck. As we're coming around to complete lap 39, now on lap 40. We'll see if Hanks can pull away from Andrew here. Be interesting to see if he can. One person who is closing in is this 02 truck. Now down under 2 seconds to the leader. Just very slowly, methodically inching his way closer and closer to the 63. Behind him, we have the 99 and the 13. My battle might be brewing there between the two of them. As the 63 of Hank Steinmiller continues to lead, we're going to take a short break here under green, and we'll be back with some more action on the other side of the break. Welcome back, everybody, to the Music City 115, as Hank Steinmiller still leads here. Andrew Rucker, you saw going by him, but during the break, we had a couple of drivers come down and hit pit road. One of those being that driver right there, Andrew Rucker, who chose to come down and get tires here extremely early on to try and gain some time back. But the issue I think he's going to have is that he's not going to have enough gas to make it to the end, unfortunately. So now he's going to have to try and hope for a caution of some kind to get him back into this thing. I don't think he wants to see that right now, obviously, but I think his hope is that this will go green, allow everybody to come down, get their tires and fuel, and then he can be back on the lead lap, gaining all that time back. So we'll see how this works out for Andrew Rucker here, but behind him, Hank Steinmiller still leads. Jake Hounshill in P2, Logan Monteith now P3. You can see there the 14 of Cooper Johnson in P4. He's actually closed in on Logan here as we get closer and closer to green flag pit stops for all these drivers. A lot of these guys, when that first caution came out early on in the race, did not come down and get tires and fuel. So it is kind of like, you know, all these drivers will be basically running an entire fuel run. I'd like to go on board with this 14 here. Cooper Johnson has been able to kind of start to close in as Logan looks like he's going to pull off to the side. But listen to the 14 here. I think he's actually shifting, which we haven't actually heard yet out of any of these drivers. Yeah, he is. We'll have to listen to see if Tyler Burnett is shifting as Logan hits pit road. Logan blinks out here. Let's see if... Let's go follow along with Jake here. That was Tyler Burnett who blinked out, excuse me. And Jake is actually closing in on Hank, so we'll actually get to see if... It looks like Jake isn't shifting. So an interesting strategy here by the 14 to shift. I mean, he has gained some time on the guys ahead of him. He's been able to make a couple of passes here as we're starting to see more and more drivers hit pit road. Seth Harrelson hits pit road. Looks like the 14 as well is going to hit pit road. Dave Carpenter right behind him is going to hit pit road as well. There's Logan. A bunch of other drivers here on pit road. The two leaders, though, right now have not pit yet. Jake has actually closed in that lead to just under a second now between him and Hank Steinmiller. And it looks like Hank is going to hit pit road this time, as well as Jake Hounshill. So this will be something interesting to keep an eye on here. These two guys... See who gets the better pit stop between the two of them. Keep an eye on them too here. 63 seems getting into his pit stall just fine. The 02 as well. As you see Cody Harrington coming off of pit road. Hank sets off, and he'll beat Jake off of pit road. Still pretty much same as far as gap-wise between the two of them. Back on track, though. Current leader is the 00, actually, of Jason Houndshell. There he is in turns 1 and 2. Last week's winner at Kansas, he had himself a really great race there. Was able to close in that points gap to about as close as he possibly could. 9 points coming into the race between him and Logan, but Logan locking up that championship once the start of this race happened. And now, talked about Andrew Rucker. Rucker now just behind Logan in the 99. Logan is actually, in fact, 2 laps down, so it looks like he may have had himself a pit road penalty. So a tough time for the 99 here. He'll try and make his way back up through the field as he's starting to pull away from Rucker on those newer tires. But Rucker has himself a giant gap. It's about 16 seconds to third place Hank Steinmiller, but Jason Houndshell still our leader currently. Not choosing to come down pit road just yet. And here's Hank Steinmiller. He's got that right side damage is fairly new. Don't remember seeing that right side damage earlier, but now he's gotten himself a giant scratch on the right side of that car. Here's Seth Harrelson. Seth is actually also a lap down right now, so not sure if he had himself some type of troubles. The car is completely clean, though. And there's Jake Houndshell in the 02. He's currently P4. There's James Goshen, and then there's P5 right there in the 14 truck. A pretty large gap between himself and fourth place Jake Houndshell there. After all the pit stops cycle through, though, it will give Andrew Rucker the lead once Jason Houndshell chooses to come down pit road here. But it'll be very interesting. Obviously, Rucker's on those much older tires compared to everybody else behind him. So it'll be interesting to see if all that time that he gained initially in this tire run will be able to kind of outweigh what it'll be like at the end of the run. But even still, Rucker's not going to be able to make it on fuel to the end. So he's going to have to really hope for a caution. Dave Carpenter here is in 6th. Right behind him, Tyler Barnett in 7th. Here's Robert Knopfsinger. Leave his first start with us this season. That one truck. He's the last truck on the lead lap right now. Behind him, there's the 99 of Logan, who's now only 1 lap down after getting one of his laps back by passing that 00 of Jason Houndshell. As you can tell on the ticker there on the left side, that gap is, in just a few short laps, already gotten itself down to just over 3 seconds of a gap between him and Rucker. So we'll see how long Jason can stay out here on this fuel run. I believe Jason was one of those guys who did choose to come down on that first caution, get some tires and fuel, so that is why he's able to stay out as long as he has. Let's go on board here with Jason and see what he's dealing with in the car, see how tight this thing is getting. And as I say that, he chooses to come onto pit road here. We'll see what kind of entrance he has. Very nice smooth entrance for Jason, and now he will make his pit stop, giving up the lead to Andrew Rucker. So Rucker now has himself a huge gap between himself and Hank Steinmiller, just under 10 seconds, but it'll be interesting to see how long that gap lasts. As Nick Seraph in the 523 looks to the inside of Andrew Rucker. He'll slide on by and make that pass. The 523. Cool looking scheme there. That right side does not look very pretty, as the 5 is pretty well scratched off, and on the right side it just looks like he's the 23 car. Get a better view of it there. Back to our leader, Andrew Rucker. Already, I mentioned just a lap ago that he had himself about a 9-second lead. Well, now it's down into the 8 seconds to him, between him and Hank Steinmiller. It's that little 3-car pack. Jake able to make the pass on Seth Harrelson. Jake trying to run down this 63 right now. And you got to think, you know, this track is not very aero dependent, obviously. It's an odd track in the sense that, you know, it's more about power, being able to get through the corners very well, and aero is not a giant factor within these trucks and on this track, but you got to think that that damage on the right side probably is still slowing down Hank Steinmiller. I mean, it's obviously not helping him, but I think it probably is definitely hurting him. Not sure if it's hurting him enough to keep Jake Houndshell close enough to where Jake might be getting himself a pass for second, but we'll see how it goes between these two. That gap has already gotten down to within 6 seconds, or just under 7 seconds, but in the 6-second range. Jake had himself a very good turn 4 there. Let's see if we can go on board with Jake Houndshell and watch him make the pass here on Hank. And now, as I say that, he goes to the inside and make that pass. So now, obviously, with the situation that Andrew Rucker is in, he's definitely going to need a caution. It's the only way he's going to be able to stay in contention, because he is going to have to pit one more time, number one. Number two, these two drivers, Jake Houndshell and Hank Steinmiller, are catching our leader very quickly. I mean, they're already, I mentioned just not too long ago that they're in the 6-second range. Now they're in the 4-second range. As Jake, with the help of his brother making the pass on Hank Steinmiller, is actually starting to space himself out from the 63. And now Hank has got another new challenge on the inside. That's the 07 of Seth Harrelson. Obviously, Jason on the newer tires, only pitting about 8 laps ago. Now looking to the inside of the 02. And we'll make that pass. That pass not for position, as the 00 is a lap down. Only the top 7 trucks are on the lead lap right now. Robert Knopfsinger being the last one of those lead lap trucks. Cody Harrington actually in the 66, who is right here. He is actually, in fact, the last truck, or excuse me, he is the first truck a lap down, so if there would be a caution, he would get the free pass. The other trucks would have to try and get their lap backs by staying out. So Cody would still actually be somewhat in contention if there would be a caution to come out. He'd be able to come down, repair this damage he has on the right side of his truck. And as I say that, we're going to have a battle now between the 66 and the 00 for that free pass spot. And Jason will make the pass easily on a much newer set of tires and a clean truck. So now, scratch that, it would be Jason Houndshell who would get that free pass and be back in contention. Behind them, Seth Harrelson is another one of those lap trucks who wants to try and get his lap back here. Himself and Logan Monteith are the last drivers See if we can find Logan. He's well back behind the rest of the other lap down cars. But all these guys definitely need some cautions to try and get back in contention. So Robert Knopfsinger in the one truck will make a pit stop, giving up 7th place. The O2 closing in on the 66 of Cody Harrington. And not only that, just take a look a little bit farther up ahead as Jason actually gets himself back on the lead lap by passing Andrew Rucker, which gives Cody Harrington that free pass position back. But now, as Jake makes the pass on Cody Harrington, that O2 is really starting to close in on Andrew Rucker, our current leader. Ooh, back behind him. Ooh, man, Cody Harrington. He had a moment there between the 63 and the 07. Looks like there was going to be some contact, but they made it out okay, at least for the moment. This now lets the 63 and the 07 side by side down the backstretch. And Seth will actually back out and give Hank that position on track. That is not a battle for position per se, as Andrew Rucker now has to make his final pit stop. This should get him to the end on fuel, but this now gives Jake Hounshell the lead back. Last week we saw the 0-0 of Jason Hounshell get Hounshell Racing's first win of the season. And now, let's see if Jake Hounshell got himself just under a second lead on Hank Steinmiller. Sounded like for a second that there was a truck going through the grass. It may have been Seth Harrelson, because he hit pit road. I don't believe he was intending to hit pit road, so he may have went to the grass and then just decided to tow. Jake Hounshell having himself a really great run. You know, in the early parts of this race, it kind of seemed like it was going to be Andrew Rucker and Hank Steinmiller to continue to lead this thing and have themselves a real shot at winning this. But Jake Hounshell is really starting to step up at this track. You know, we talked about how Jake struggled for most of the season, as we may have a caution on track. Can't quite tell because the trucks are going so slow. I don't believe we do have a caution, but... And we do, actually. It's hard to tell because the trucks coming off the corners here, they go so slow. And so it's hard to tell, well, are they just slow coming off the corners, or is there an actual caution? So we'll have to go back here and take a look and see what happened. So here is where the caution came out. Andrew Rucker got a quick run on Dave Carpenter and then got on the gas way too hard, and that back end came around. So a simple one truck spin, and this completely changes the complexity of this race for sure. Back to live. Looks like everybody's going to hit pit road here. Jake Hounshell, Hank Steinmiller. At least all the lead lap trucks are going to hit pit road. There's Cooper Johnson in the 14. Let's see who wins the race off of pit road here. It's going to be a pretty huge stop for everybody. There's Tyler Barnett, Jason Houndshell just getting into his stall. 71. We didn't have too many trucks on the lead lap. So Jack drops actually on the 63 first, but still the 02 will win the race off of pit road. And Hank Steinmiller actually chooses to stop here and give the 14 the position. Dave Carpenter 4th off of pit road. Tyler Barnett 5th. But still, Jake Houndshell is our race leader. There's the 5:23 of Nick Serif. All these guys are going to get their laps back here. This is huge for Logan as well. He had that pit road speeding penalty, and now this will give him an opportunity to get back on the lead lap here with all the lead lap trucks pitting. So, as we continue to pace here at Nashville Superspeedway under caution, we'll be back with some more green flag action just after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to the Music City 115 at Nashville Superspeedway. Jake Houndshell continues to lead here as we are under caution. Once again, Andrew Rucker spinning it coming off of turn 4. Hank Steinmiller actually chose a strategy play of stopping at the end of pit road to give second place to Cooper Johnson. Seeing if that inside line off this restart here will help him out. The 14 truck and the 02 truck lining up side by side on the front row. Let's see what kind of a jump Jake Houndshell can get here as the pace car is off. Jake gets the run here, and we're green yet again at Nashville Superspeedway. Jake got himself a great jump, actually. Gives himself a decent space between himself and the 14 truck. Let's see what Cooper Johnson can do. He has not led all race long. Oh, and Hank tried to look to the bottom. He'll go back to the top, though. The 14 gets the run into 3. He'll look to the inside of Jake here. The bottom is definitely the preferred line. Oh, man, Hank really got loose off of 4 there trying to get a run. Side by side down the front stretch, though, with 23 to go. Johnson and the 14, Houndshell and the 02. Still side by side at the moment. Down the backstretch they go. Seems like Johnson has the run going into the corner, but the 02 able to get the run off the corner. Jake has been so good for most of this race, especially towards the end of this race. That truck has just came alive as they're still side by side for the lead at the moment. And Hank is just kind of waiting for these guys to figure it out. And now the 14 will clear, but the crossover move before the 02 to the inside of the 14 now. Great move there by Jake. What will the 14 do? He backs out. Goes to look to the bottom. He gets touched by the 63. Sideways. They're wrecking behind him. Caution is out here yet again. Both the 1 and the 13 were heavily involved in this one as well. And we'll definitely have to go back and take a look at what happened there. The 63 gets into the 14, coming off of 4. And it kind of seemed like Tyler Burnett and the 1 truck, that was more of just an involvement of trying to check up for the wreck. But let's go back and see what happened here. So we're following along the 14 here. He gets a run into the corner. Jake Houndshell in the 02 does the crossover move. It kind of seemed like the 14 really wanted to come down on him. He wasn't able to block him going down the backstretch. 14 looks like he's going to try the same thing here. And then the 63 just fills that hole as the 14 starts to come down the track. Oh, right into Dave Carpenter as well. And it looks like, I'm not sure if Cody did catch the 14 there, but it looks like he barely missed him coming down the track again. Going along Tyler Barnett. There's the contact. He gets into Dave Carpenter. Jason's involved. That looks like the 1 Leave that as the one track spinning behind him there. So an interesting turn of events here. As this caution comes out, the O2 chooses to stay out, but a lot of other drivers chose to come in here this time. Andrew Rucker, you see there, chose to come in. There's Logan Monteith who chose to came in. There's the 63 who chose to came in. Tyler Burnett was involved there. Jason Houndshell. One of Nossinger. A lot of drivers chose to come in. There's Dave Carpenter. And the 71, he came down pit road. There goes the 00. So only a few select drivers chose to stay out. And I believe both the 85 and the 66 are a lap down, or at least a lap down. But the 02 of Jake Houndshell now, granted, it was only a couple laps, so it should not affect him too much, but still just a couple laps here. I mean, tires are very, very valuable when it comes to these types of tracks, so it should be extremely interesting for sure. Go ahead and let the rest of these drivers finish up their pit stops and finish up pacing. We'll be back with some more green flag action. Welcome back to Nashville Super Speedway. Jake Houndshell chose to stay out on the last caution. Cody Harrington also chose to stay out on the last caution here, so Cody is actually on the lead lap. Dave Carpenter had himself a very short pit stop, may have only took 2 tires, and Andrew Rucker is the first driver on 4 fresh tires, and that's top side of the second line there. Jake Houndshell, granted it only was a couple of laps here, as Jake goes ahead and hits the gas. It was only a couple laps on those tires. Still, let's see if those couple laps make the difference as Jake gets off to a great launch. Andrew Rucker splits him 3 wide, going into 1. Cody Harrington not able to hold his own on the top side. Rucker to the top side of Dave Carpenter, though. Rucker will clear Dave Carpenter for second. Jason Houndshell up to 4th now. Logan back on the lead lap. He's in 5th. Tyler Burnett 6th. And there's Hank Steinmiller, who's able to make it past Harrington for 7th. The 99 looking to the inside of the 00. Top 2 in points coming into this race. Trying to battle it out for the championship here, or excuse me, trying to battle for that specific spot. Logan's already got the championship wrapped up, but with 15 to go, can Rucker run down Jake Houndshell? That'll be the key. Rucker seems like he is closing that gap a little bit here. Tyler Burnett, you see behind him, has already made the pass on Logan. That would be for 5th place. Can Rucker catch Jake Houndshell in the next 14 laps? He seems much faster than Jake at the moment on just those little bit fresher tires. Starting to close on him here fairly quickly. $13 to go. Can Rucker make the pass on Jake? That's the big key, is Jake's now going to start to try and play defense here. We saw Rucker on the short runs was very, very good. But the key will be now is if he can make that pass, because he's got 12 laps to do it. He's got plenty of time to try and make the pass on Jake, but that'll be the key, though. Can he make that pass? Take a look at some of the lap times here that we've had. Oh, some contact, though. between Rucker and Jake Houndshell. As Rucker is able to make the pass on Jake there through 1 and 2. Can Jake try and get back to him, though? Doesn't seem like he has what it takes right now. As you see behind him, Jason trying to look to the inside of the 71. I mean, Jake has plenty of time to try and catch Rucker, but... Ooh, Jason really high up on the track there. Tyler will look to the inside. That'll be a pass for 4th. Well, the problem that Jake has now, though, with only 9 to go, is he has Dave Carpenter right on his bumper here. It's not an easy thing to have pressure from somebody behind you and still try and drive away and catch up to the leader. 9 laps to go, though, and it seems like this gap between the 02 and the 6 of Andrew Rucker is starting to grow. Dave Carpenter there in 3rd. I haven't been talking much about Dave Carpenter throughout this race. Most of the time he's been kind of mired back in that 6th or 7th position, but now he's up to P3 at the moment, trying to get himself to P2 as he looks to the inside of Jake down the front stretch. Jake puts a bit of a block there on the 71. He knows he's got to play some defense now if he wants to keep P2. Look at Tyler Barnett. Tyler Barnett now trying to get into this. He's going to look to P3 on Dave Carpenter. This will help Jake Houndshell out. Just allow him to space himself out a little bit between the drivers behind him. With only 6 to go. Got a second gap now to Andrew Rucker. He's going to need something major. He's going to be able to try and catch Andrew now. Tyler not able to make the pass on Dave Carpenter, but now this will allow the 00 of Jason Houndshell to look to the inside. Oh man, the 99. A little bit loose there coming off before it kind of seemed like, or maybe indecisive, but the 00 able to make the pass on Tyler Barnett. As I say that, Dave Carpenter able to make the pass on Jake Houndshell. And now Dave is going to play some defense here and try and drive away from the 02. And while all this is going on, that driver right there is the happiest driver on the track right now. Because all that battling behind him is exactly what he wants to see in his rearview mirror. That gap is now opened up to just over a second to second place now Dave Carpenter. And a very valiant effort from Jake Houndshell, but you also have to try and think that maybe the damage on the left side that he sustained, that may be slowing him down, because I don't see too much damage on the side of Andrew Rucker's car where he would have hit him. So it looks like that 02 might be having a little bit more trouble right now than Andrew Rucker is. But behind them, that's Logan looking to the inside of the 13. That's teammates battling side by side for P5. '99 trying to complete that pass. Only 2 to go now. Even we have multiple teammates battling each other here. We see 2 teammates battling each other there, and 2 teammates battling each other here. Is now Jason looks to try and make the pass on Jake Houndshell. To the bottom goes the 00, not able to make the pass that time as his teammate shuts him off. And with just over a second lead to second place, it is white flag for Andrew Rucker, and that's exactly what he wants to see. No lap cars ahead of him. Next flag ends the race, and Rucker's got himself a second gap to Dave Carpenter behind him as he comes through 3 and 4. Andrew Rucker, another new winner here in the Juicebox Racing League. He'll go to victory lane here to conclude Season 2 at Nashville Superspeedway. And maybe not exactly pleased with how Rucker made that pass. There's a little bit of a bump there after the race from Jake Hounshaw, letting him know, hey, I wasn't exactly pleased with how you chose to pass me there. But regardless of that, Andrew Rucker will go to victory lane. And we'll get to see what kind of burnout he gives us here. A great run by Rucker. And, you know, we said earlier on that with that pit strategy call that he did have, he really needed a lot of luck to go his way to get back on the lead lap and have a shot to win this thing. And he actually had all that luck that he needed go his way as Rucker is going to start to burn it down here in Nashville. And as that burnout happens, the burnout of a champion to conclude the season here at Nashville, Logan Monteith also doing himself a burnout as well. There's your champion, ladies and gentlemen, the 99 of Logan Monteith. Champion of the Juicebox Racing League Season 2. A great season for that 99 truck for sure. One of the most consistent drivers all season long. Even the 523 is doing a burnout as well, as the 99 blows his engine. But still, congratulations as to your 523 doing a burnout now. Congratulations to both Andrew Rucker and Logan Monteith. A winner and a champion here tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the final results of tonight's race, though. So our final results of tonight's race, the final race of Season 2, Andrew Rucker comes home the winner. Another new winner here in the Juicebox Racing League here at Nashville. Dave Carpenter, a winner at Indianapolis, had himself another great run here tonight. He comes home P2. Jason Hounshaw comes home P3, last week's winner. A great way to finish out the season for him. Jake Hounshaw had himself a real good shot of winning it there at the end. I think just wore his tires out a little bit too much, or maybe that damage may have affected him quite a bit as well. He comes home P4. Tyler Burnett with a top 5 there in P5. Logan Monteith, our champion of this season, comes home P6. Hank Steinmiller comes home P7. Cody Harrington, another nice run for him. He comes home P8. Nick Seraph in the 523 truck. He comes home P9. And Robert Knopfsinger, first start with us this season, comes home with a top 10 finish for him. 11th on back, you have James Goshen there, and 11th, Cooper Johnson, who was involved in that last caution there. He comes home P12. Seth Harrelson comes home P13. Andre Guerrera comes home P14. And Bo Caro, 109 laps down. He is our final truck, finishing P15. So, again, to the 99 truck there of Logan Monteith, congratulations to you on being this season's champion of the Juicebox Racing League. A huge victory for him, winning back at New Hampshire. The only win, I believe, of the entire season for the 99 was at New Hampshire, and he finished second place in all 3 of the races before tonight in the chase, basically locking him into being a champion. So again, congratulations to the 99, and thank you to everybody for all season long, all 12 races that we had here. A long season for us, a very fun season, up and down. A lot of drivers had some great runs, a lot of great races that we got to watch here on this channel. I'm very appreciative of everybody tuning in and watching all the broadcasts that we've had. It's been amazing to see how many people have chosen to stop by, and considering the fact of, how long these races are, and iRacing is not the most popular thing out there, to have as many people as we've had watch these races, I am very, very thankful that everybody chose to stop by and even spend an hour or even 5 minutes of the broadcast to sit down and watch. I'm very appreciative to all of you. Thank you to all the drivers who came in this season for all 12 races, and even to the ones who only came in and stopped for a single race. We are very appreciative to all of you. I want to thank everybody, sponsors of the series, Juicebox Juicebox Podcast. I'm just so used to saying Juicebox Racing League. Juicebox Podcast for sponsoring the league. We're obviously very appreciative to them. And again, to all the drivers who chose to stop by and spend, an hour or so, sometimes 2 hours of their day every Tuesday night. We are very appreciative to you as always. So we'll see what Juicebox Racing League chooses to do over the summer. Will we be back for another season 3 in the summer, or if we'll have to wait until the fall to see another full season of racing. But anytime the Juicebox Racing League is going to be having races on Tuesday nights, be sure to tune in right here on this YouTube channel for the broadcasts after the fact. So cannot wait to see what this league has to offer next. Cannot wait to see Logan Monteith try to defend that championship in Season 3. So again, thank you to everybody who stopped in and watched. Hope you all enjoyed the season. Hope you all enjoyed tonight's race, and we will see you all next time.